Here we are on Clothesline, the show where we wring them clean, string them up and put them to dry on the clothesline. Let's start with some good news. For a change, Rahul Gandhi finds himself in truly illustrious company, like Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and the ghost of Elvis. He too hasn't been spotted in ages. In fact, these posters have gone up in Uttar Pradesh, announcing a decent reward for finding him. I've seen lost little kitten posters with rewards that sound more promising than that. Clearly, they don't want him back that badly. There's good news for all the Indian smokers out there. After putting out public service ads like this for years,
my life was going so well. Married to a good man, 2 lovely children. But tobacco changed all that. Now this growing cancer has to be cut from my face. Nothing will be the same again. Tobacco has ruined my life.
Now, BJP Member of Parliament Dilip Gandhi, the head of the parliamentary subcommittee examining the Cigarette and Other Tobacco Products Act, claims we can't confirm the link between tobacco and cancer because, and this is true, there's no Indian study to confirm it. Of course, we all know Indians aren't like other humans. No, we were brought to Earth from another planet on Vedic spacecraft, so obviously we need our own study. That's science. Never mind that the National Medical Journal of India quotes studies showing 40 to 45% of cancers in men and 20 to 25% of cancers in women in Chennai and Dindigul are tobacco related. Saying there's no conclusive link between tobacco and cancer is like looking at the 9/11 attacks and saying, we need further studies to prove the link between those planes crashing into the buildings and people dying. Actually, that's a bullshit analogy because even the World Trade Center attacks didn't kill anywhere near 40% of men and 20% of the women present. The only people as unsure about the link between tobacco and cancer are the Marlboro men. And guess what? At least 3 of them died of lung cancer. But where was Dilip Gandhi coming from? Why did he take such an illogical stand? There's a very logical reason for all this fuss. Shamacharan Gupta, a member of parliament, also told the parliamentary committee that bidis have no harmful effect on health. Maybe because by his own admission, he receives an annual turnover of 250 crores, between 1 to 1.5% of the total bidi trade in the country. Gupta said, I can show you thousands of people who smoke bidi and they are all fine. America-funded NGOs are trying to put the blame for lifestyle diseases on tobacco in a bid to kill the indigenous industry. They will destroy Modi's Make in India call. I don't think so. But Gupta's science doesn't end there. He also said, when you chew, it goes into your stomach and has an effect. When you smoke, it's different. I don't think so. Then we had Martyrs' Day on 23rd of March and the Chandigarh Municipal Council decided to celebrate it by putting up hoardings celebrating the army. Just not our own. Bhavna ko samjho yaar. We wonder if they take the same approach to their children's birthday. Sorry, Sunil. It's the thought that counts. Just be happy you have a cake. There are starving children in Africa. Shut up. We said sorry. Still, that wasn't even the biggest controversy on the 23rd. That honour was reserved for this.
On one hand, there are repeated terror attacks in Jammu and Kashmir, and Indian bravehearts are martyred and attacked. And on the other hand, Hurriyat leaders meet Pak envoy, and today another group of India haters will land in Delhi to party with the enemy. Shouldn't Pak Day be boycotted?
The question was whether the Indian government would send a representative to the event in the Pakistan High Commission. And in their hurry to be the first to break news of the government's decision, channels decided to make the decision for the government. There was headlines today who ran this.
MOS Ministry of External Affairs General V.K. Singh will not attend the function which is taking place right now at the Pakistan embassy.
Times Now must have had the same sources because while they didn't upload the videos, they did tweet this.
Union Ministers Sushma Swaraj and V.K. Singh to skip Pak Day celebrations. MS Iyer to attend the event. #Party with enemy.
Which became this.
Union Minister General V.K. Singh may attend Pakistan Day celebrations in Delhi. Sources. #Party with enemy.
Which ultimately became this after he eventually attended the celebration. Here's some breaking news, guys. It's not breaking news if it's wrong. But Times Now didn't need us to point that out. There was Barkha.
For channels that swear by hashtags, you got it wrong, honey, and how wrong? As reported by us, General V.K. Singh is at the Pakistan reception.
So since Times Now behaves like Fox News, and they probably love the comparison, then they should also expect to be trashed like Fox News is. So while Times Now did what Times Now does best,
the government says it is no big deal that the Union Minister of State for External Affairs stood shoulder to shoulder, side by side at a photo op after a warm handshake with the Pakistan High Commissioner. Well, I'm sorry to tell the government this, but they have got it all wrong, I'm afraid. This government has got it all wrong.
I just love how everyone in India gives unsolicited advice to everybody. Arnab, remember this?
It will be difficult for you, but listen.
No, naturally.
It will be painful for you, but listen.
Barkha ne Times Now ki to achhi dhulai ki.
Some in the media have now decided to make this a test about nationalism in the age of the hashtag. Have we lost our intelligence? In the interest of disclosure, that I was invited as well, and I would have certainly attended had it not been for being stuck in the studio here with work, because I reject anyone's patriotism being measured like this. We're actually taking on those channels. We're actually taking. We are not. We are not in agreement with those channels.
Nothing more fun than a media fight and anything to distract us from the completely stale AAP serial. But Barkha, man, or rather woman up, say his name. It's safe to say Arnab's name, because you know why? Because there's no way he can hear you over the noise of NewsHour. Watch.
I am just saying. No, Mr.
Kohli,
I'm sorry. Let me correct
Arnab!
you. I didn't take
Arnab!
Mr. Kohli,
Arnab!
that there are people in
Arnab! Now, while headlines today in Times Now got it all wrong about whether VK Singh would attend Pakistan Day at the High Commission or not, NewsX joined the party the next day. While other channels were figuring out whether VK Singh would offer his resignation or be asked to resign, NewsX decided to cover all the bases.
VK Singh has offered to resign from his post as the MOS Foreign Affairs. This is the latest in the VK Singh tweet saga.
Okay, so he's offered his resignation, but even before we could comprehend that, we got this.
VK Singh, I've spoken to his office. He has denied the news of his resignation. When I asked him question, did Prime Minister ask VK Singh to resign? So I was told by VK Singh's office that he has not been asked by Prime Minister to put in his papers.
Wait. So he hasn't offered his resignation and the government hasn't asked for it either? Well, that settles that then.
Sources are now telling NewsX that General VK Singh has been asked, in fact, to take his resignation back. These are reports coming in all over the place.
So let's recap what NewsX taught us. VK Singh offered his resignation to the government that he denied offering, and the government didn't ask for the resignation that he never offered. And since no resignation was offered, no asked for, the government asked VK Singh to withdraw the non-existent offer to resign. Wait, what?
I don't understand this logic.
Yeah, you and everyone else watching NewsX?
This is a very hot developing story and all angles breaking simultaneously.
No, all angles aren't breaking simultaneously. You're just stating every possible angle in the hope that one of them is right. In fact, NewsX was so confused that they ran tickers saying VK Singh offered to resign and tickers below that ticker questioning whether VK Singh offered to resign. That wasn't the only mixed messaging on NewsX. They also ran footage of him and pointed out his green jacket, obviously insinuating the connection with Pakistan's colors. But when the Congress's Brajesh Kalappa did that...
He had worn a bright green dress, which is the color of Pakistan, and to say that no, I was only carried by duty and by disgust is something which I think is a little more than just
a bit too much.
Yeah, maybe tell that to your production team. The Supreme Court also gave us an unexpected gift when they quashed Section 66A of the IT Act. A big thank you and shabash to Justice Nariman and Justice Chelameswar for throwing Section 66A where it belongs. For those of you whose Vedic Vimans just landed, 66A was an amendment made to the IT Act in 2008 by the UPA government with the full support of the BJP and other parties. So what did Section 66A do? Now, if that picture irritates, inconveniences, or annoys you because you're a dog person, or if it caused you needless anxiety because you're a weirdo with a fear of cats, then congratulations. Under 66A, you could have had us fined, arrested and jailed. So all those incidents of people being arrested for posting their views on the internet, they happened thanks to Section 66A. In fact, we'd like to give ourselves a pat on the back because we launched our Internet Inqilab campaign to fight it. These amendments and the Act itself needs to be re-looked at, needs to be re-examined, and maybe the word should be changed so that it is more specific and it is not that prone to misuse as it has been in the last 2 years. Because fighting Section 66A was in the public interest, and when the public pays for news, news serves the public interest. When corporates pay, it serves corporate interests. So what are you waiting for? Support independent media. In a democracy, the media is supposed to be the watchdog. The watchdog is supposed to be independent, but here we find some watchdogs are subservient to their masters. The master provides for your survival. For some people, it is the government, for some it's ads, and for some it's big industrialists. For News Laundry, it's you. Will you pay to keep news free? You know how long it took for Parliament to introduce and approve Section 66A? Let's do a little quiz. Is it A, 4 days, B, 1 week, C, the entire monsoon session of Parliament, or D, 21 minutes? If you guessed A, B, or C, then welcome to India. We hope you had a pleasant flight and don't complain about the cows on our streets. They're holy. Yes, the answer is D, a whopping 21 minutes without debate. That's the average runtime of this. Though to be fair, a lot more work went into the cartoon. But you know what politicians can manage in 21 minutes? They can nap, watch porn.
Seen as the Karnataka Cooperation Minister Lakshman Savadi watching a pornographic clip on his phone and sharing that clip with the Women and Child Development Minister C.C. Patil, who was sitting next to him.
And fight. How about instead of all that crap, maybe spend 21 minutes passing a law making it mandatory for every public place to have toilets? Though given the quality of our legislation, we'd probably get something like this. Tweet us your ideas for bills that should be passed without debate at #newslaundry21minute-bill. Now, when the bill was submitted to the Standing Committee in 2007, no one objected. In fact, the current Union IT Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad, who was then part of the committee, reportedly said the whole thing was discussed and adopted in a jiffy. There was no debate. Despite that, when the BJP wasn't in power, they batted for internet freedom, with Narendra Modi joining the protest and even going so far as to blacken his Twitter handle picture in protest of Section 66A. So obviously, once the Supreme Court scrapped Section 66A, they celebrated.
The government of India welcomes the Supreme Court judgment on Section 66A of the Information Technology Act.
छोटा सा सवाल मैं पूछूं, इफ यू वेलकम इट नाउ, तो आपने अपने एडिशनल सोलिसिटर जनरल को क्यों भेजा सुप्रीम कोर्ट इस जजमेंट के खिलाफ लड़ने के लिए? Here's the BJP's additional solicitor general Tushar Mehta representing the government on the matter in the Supreme Court.
On Thursday, the government told the Supreme Court that Section 66A is a vital regulation and that the internet needs stricter curbs than print or television.
But then came this.
In a landmark judgment, the Supreme Court has held that Section 66A of the IT Act, the Information and Technology Act, is unconstitutional.
The Supreme Court has struck down the arbitrary Section 66A.
Now the Supreme Court has ruled Section 66A of the Information Technology Act as unconstitutional.
So how did Ravi Shankar Prasad react, considering his government asked the Supreme Court to keep Section 66A intact?
तो हमने पहला काम किया कि सरकार के एफिडेविट को चेंज किया और नई गवर्नमेंट का स्टैंड बताया. एंड आई वुड लाइक टू कन्वे फ्रॉम, जिसको मैंने अपने रिटन स्टेटमेंट में भी कोट किया है, कि द गवर्नमेंट लेड बाय श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी fully supports freedom of speech and expression on social media.
Wait a minute. Did I hear right? Which Mukhota of the BJP had first protested against the bill and which Mukhota is now supporting it? Did the additional Solicitor General just decide on his own to argue against it? Of course not. So why is Ravi Shankar Prasad welcoming a judgment that his government fought against? You lost the case. Why are you pretending like the Supreme Court has done what you asked for? Still, Ravi Shankar Prasad made the obvious argument.
It came into existence with effect from 27/10/2009 when Section 66 and 67 were amended by the previous UPA government.
You were in Parliament when they passed it. You were on the standing committee. Did you fight against it? No. And almost serendipitously, Ravi's press conference lasted as long as it took to get the bill passed. 21 minutes. Still, he wasn't the only one who miraculously had a change of heart. Many people who had pushed for Section 66A then lauded the Supreme Court's judgment with complete besharmi aplomb.
Supreme Court has arrived at an appropriate decision. 66A was the antithesis of the freedom of speech and expression.
It's a landmark day for freedom of expression, freedom of speech.
We should welcome the Supreme Court judgment. Now that there is a judgment and the Supreme Court says that this is violative of the fundamentals of free speech.
I'm telling you that the Congress party welcomes the Supreme Court verdict.
श्रेया सिंघल और उनके जो वकील हैं और उनके जो साथी हैं जिन्होंने इस वॉर को एक तरह से वॉर ही कहूंगा जिसको एक कंक्लूसिव एंड में लेके आए हैं, ये बहुत बड़ी जीत है जनता की.
But take heart. There are few honest politicians who made no bones about their stand against the Supreme Court quashing Section 66A.
वो गलत किया है. यानी आजादी का मतलब गाली गलौज नहीं है. आजादी का मतलब कैरेक्टर असैसिनेशन नहीं है. क्यों नहीं होगा वो एक्ट? जिस तरह से लोग गाली गलौज कर रहे हैं उस पर, जिस तरह अभद्रता का डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन हो रहा है.
सोशल मीडिया चाहिए, ऐसा नहीं कि उसमें कुछ अच्छे पहलू भी है, लेकिन सोशल मीडिया का मिसयूज बहुत हो रहा है हमारे देश में. उसके रोकने के लिए कुछ ना कुछ पुलिस के हाथ में कानून का एक सेक्शन तो चाहिए.
Now, defending the BJP's stance on Section 66A isn't easy, and the BJP's Nalin Kohli didn't really have any answers. Lucky for him, Raju Ramachandran did.
There is a continuity in government, whether it's the UPA government or the NDA government. As long as a law exists on the statute book, it has to be tested, and for it to be tested, it has to be defended. Constitutional law is not made on compromises. That the petitioner says it's a bad law, government says yes, I agree it's a bad law, and the court strikes it down. This is not how constitutional law is made. As long as the government didn't think it fit to repeal this law, the government was duty bound to defend this law.
Nalin, he just bailed you out of a sticky situation. But Nalin's night wasn't over, because just half an hour later, he was on the news hour.
Government is duty bound.
What are you saying?
Government is duty bound, as are the law officers. To take, when they are defending a law, because government is in continuation, parties may change. The test is provided to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court takes those counts of everything and will adjudicate.
I'm going to laugh
now,
out
you may
loud
not like it because on a debate, sir,
I'm going to
that
laugh
could
out
be
loud.
that could be done in 5 minutes.
I'm going to laugh out so loud tonight on this one. One second. No, one second.
That's not going to change how the Supreme Court works.
Say what you want about him, but you can't say he isn't a fast learner. Remember when Pakistan lost to India and their fans did this?
किस तरह से वहां पर पाकिस्तानी क्रिकेट फैंस टीवी तोड़ रहे हैं, अपना गुस्सा दिखा रहे हैं, और कितना ज्यादा पेसिमिज्म और नेगेटिविटी इस वक्त यहाँ पर
पाकिस्तान में हार पर हंगामा होता हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है.
Well, when India got knocked out of the World Cup by eventual champions Australia, Indians showed that we might have many differences with Pakistan. But you know what isn't one? Cricket.
टीवी फोड़कर अपना गुस्सा निकाला तो वही भारतीय क्रिकेटर्स के पोस्टर्स को आग के हवाले कर दिया गया.
Wow. And we thought the Pakistanis were nuts. Luckily, we had the voice of the nation to remind us that winning and losing was just a part of sport. Well, at least that's what the elected voice of the nation said. We just couldn't hear him because the other voice of the nation was much, much louder.
Why was there lack of application, lack of seriousness, lack of direction, lack of formidable captaincy on the field in a World Cup semi-final? What on earth was going on there? There is a loss of honor in surrendering. And the problem, let me complete by saying, South Africa lost. Yes. I follow cricket. Yeah. I love cricket. South Africa lost, Arbaz.
Right.
We surrendered.
Suddenly it all makes sense. Those guys smashing television sets and burning cricketers' posters weren't mad that India lost. They were doing it to get rid of Arnab and burning the cricketers' posters for unleashing Arnab on them. Heck, Arnab was so outraged that he wasn't willing to listen to reason. And when all else failed, India responded in the one way they knew Arnab could understand. They made #ShameOnTimes now the #1 Twitter trend in the country. But did he understand? No.
On cricket's biggest talking point.
I do not believe there is any loss of honor in losing. But I must say, there is a loss of honor in surrendering. South Africa lost. We surrendered.
His debate engaged the nation more than any other news show in Indian television history.
Now that's what you call marketing. Spin doctoring marketing. Thank you Karan Bhasin and Yash Sharma for that spot. Shame on Times Now wasn't the only Twitter sensation this past fortnight. There was also My Choice, a women's empowerment video from Vogue that starred Deepika Padukone, which divided opinion. Let's be honest here, expecting real women's empowerment from Vogue is like expecting real education from IIN. You know, that's essentially bullshit, but not the sort of bullshit worth actually overanalyzing. And for once, Shobha Dey had the right idea.
Let's not intellectualize it and overanalyze it and do it to death because it's a dialogue that will be an ongoing thing.
Right. Exactly.
We don't need to overanalyze.
We're running out of time.
Yeah, overanalyzing something like this would be stupid and pointless. We wonder who would ever do that.
What is that message? I'm sorry, I couldn't get it. I couldn't determine whether I was a snowflake, a snowfall, whether I was meant to say I'm all for adultery, not for adultery. It was such a confused film.
Vogue is certainly not for rural India. So why are we being hypocritical about that to start with? It's not designed to empower a woman in our villages.
Heck, she even wrote a blog on it for NDTV. I guess what she meant was that we shouldn't overanalyze it because she's already done that for us. Though I must add, I have to give a thumbs up to Shobha on this one. Despite this contradiction, she made more sense than all the other talking heads combined. A male parody of My Choice came up pretty soon. So we at News Laundry thought, enough of this male, female, women, men, etc., etc. We are all in the cesspool together. So here's what the people of India have suffered because some politicians decided this is my choice.
People opposing me impose emergency and censor the media. My choice.
Population problems, sterilize the poor. Problem solved. If they die, even better. My choice. If I don't like criticism, I'll shut down my critics. My choice.
How to beat communism. Paint the city blue. My choice.
Wanted a better view of Jama Masjid, so I had the people and homes in the way destroyed. My choice.
Nationalize banks and airlines. My country, my choice.
On the 30th of March, it seemed like no matter which channel you turned to, there was Yogendra Yadav giving an interview. He was on ABP, India News. Heck, he even appeared twice on Headlines Today. Still, that didn't stop Z News and CNN IBN from doing this.
We have with us Yogendra Yadav.
IBN and Z, we have some news exclusively for you. It isn't an exclusive if everyone else has it too. We also had our caption contest and this week's winner is Maza Aju. He's won the third time. Where are the other guys? Let's get to it. Congratulations, Maza, and keep the submissions coming. Remember to participate in our next caption contest to get your name on the next episode of Clothesline. Well, that's a wrap for the week. If you have any moments from journalism that made you go, oh wow, or oh crap, write into us or tweet to us. Subscribe to our newsletter and support our I Pay to Keep News Free campaign. We are the change. You are the change for better or worse. Never do nothing. Stay connected. Stay online. If you enjoyed that, click up here to support us and down here to subscribe. Be sure to check out our older episodes and the other stuff we do like Can You Take It, I Agree, panel discussions, comics and animations, and much, much more.